Well, watch out. Things are going to get serious in this video. We're going to crack open the Bible and see what it has to say about our role in the environment that we live in. And some people really vary in their beliefs of how we're supposed to interact with the environment that we're in. You see, in the Bible, in the very first book of Genesis, God creates human beings, and he says, I give you my blessing. He says, be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth. And he says this word, he says, subdue. Subdue and have dominion. These things mean that man has the authority over the earth. He has authority over the fish of the sea, the fowl of the air, or birds, and every other living thing. So we learn that man has dominion. Dominion means authority over the earth. And if you have an authority, the authority can tell you what to do. So Mr. Hale's my authority, right? And if Mr. Hale says, I want you teaching English next year, guess what I'm going to be teaching? Nouns and verbs and adjectives, and that's all I know. I'm just kidding. I know a little bit more English than that. But he's my authority, so he gets to tell me what to do. You know, we're the Earth's authority. We get to choose what we do with the Earth. However, that doesn't excuse us from having good stewardship practices. Stewardship means that we are the Earth's caretaker, so we can't destroy the Earth, just like Mr. Hale couldn't say, you know what I want you to do? Oh yeah, next year I want you to work 20-hour days. You can go home and see your family for 4 hours, but you have to sleep too, and we're not going to pay you. I mean, I guess he could try that, right? But I'd be like, no, I quit. Because he has to take care of his employees too, even though he has authority. So there's a healthy balance there of in this case, the Earth's case, we have to take care of the Earth, and we have to use the Earth for our benefit. Modern environmentalism doesn't think so. It takes a pretty aggressive approach to environmental issues. They say that the Earth has some pretty serious problems, and human activity that's just a bad thing. And it contradicts God's command to subdue the earth and have dominion, because if human activity is a problem, then anything we do is a problem. And we're supposed to be doing things. Sometimes nature is even viewed as a god, a belief known as pantheism. Now, I'm not sure that if you talk to an environmentalist, they will tell you that nature is God. I'm sure some people would. Some really, odd people would be like, nature, it's God, But have you ever heard of the following things said on like a TV program or among your friends? Well, Mother Nature takes care of the earth. What is Mother Nature? Well, Mother Nature doesn't exist, and people know that, but it's almost like they're personifying the earth, that the earth is a person, the earth is a god, and that we need to just step back and let nature do its thing. And modern environmentalism takes that approach, and it's not a good approach. It really ends up hurting a lot of people. But that's not to say that environmentalism doesn't have some good ideas. You see, environmentalism, a lot of modern environmentalism wants us to use what's called green energy that's natural and reusable. See, most of our energy comes from gasoline and natural gases and fossil fuels. You can see down here that petroleum, which is a fossil fuel, natural gas, coal, these are all fossil fuels. Well, these things are all energy that ends up polluting some things. And really, we have some better alternatives, so we should look into them. And that's where conservation comes in. We are responsible for taking care of the Earth's resources. Once they're gone, they're gone. So we're not making any more gasoline, right? Gasoline and natural gas and petroleum and stuff, they're made from dead plants and animals that I believe were put there and crushed into fossil fuels by the flood. We're not going to have another worldwide flood. God promised that. Evolutionists believe that these fossil fuels take billions of years to make. Well, if you think about it, then we're not making any more, regardless of what you believe. So once we're out, we're out. So we do need to have some alternate energy sources. And that's where renewable energy comes in, where we need to look into geothermal, solar, wind energy, biomass, biofuels, wood and hydroelectric energy, and even nuclear power, which it doesn't technically qualify as green energy. Let's take a look at these things. To understand them, we need to understand renewable versus not renewable. We already talked a little bit about it. Renewable is stuff that we can get more of. We can get more sunlight. We can get more food. We can get more wind. We can get more timber. We can plant more trees. We can get more water. Water just flows all the time. Can't get more oil. Can't get more coal. Can't get more natural gas. Eventually, some people say 15 years. Some people say 25 years. Some people say 50 years down the line, there's going to be no more of that. So if you bought a car in 2020, odds are in 10, 15 years, you're probably not going to be able to drive all that much because of the price of gas is going to go through the roof. Gas prices are pretty low right now, but that's because nobody's traveling and there's a low demand. That goes into little economics. But the reality is we will run out eventually, so we need to power our cars with something different. Well, let's research that stuff now so it doesn't surprise us when we have to use it. What is the goal of all of these things? What is the goal of wind energy, of using wind turbines which spin and create energy? What's the goal of hydroelectric energy, where we build massive dams on rivers and run them through these turbines, making them spin, creating electricity? What's the goal? The goal is that we might have a careful balance between mankind and the world around them. We can coexist with natural climax communities and human communities to make this world a better place. And a climax community is one that has reached its peak of vegetation. It isn't really touched by humans. And animals live there, and really, I really believe that we should have some parts of the U.S. that's entirely dedicated to having natural climax communities just thrive. But there's also a time where we need to cut down some trees and build some houses and provide for people and have good businesses and stuff like that. And so this careful balance is our goal. We can't go too far one way where we're like, oh no, we can't cut down any more trees. Let nature rule. But we also can't go too far the other way and end up like WALL-E, right? I was watching WALL-E with my daughter the other day. It kind of scared me when I took a look at this major city just filled with trash and humans abandon the planet. And then all of a sudden they find this seed and this little tree, and they're like, whoa, I've never seen this thing before. Let's have a careful balance. And that's all that I have for you. Do make sure, and I don't have this in the PowerPoint, but I do have this in the notes, do make sure that you do 13.4, those section reviews. I forgot to add that in. You just have to do the questions. There shouldn't be all that many of them. I think the last time I checked there were like 3 or 4. I might be wrong, but that is for homework for you to do. I hope you enjoyed this lesson on man's role in the environment. Remember, balance is everything. In environmentalism, environmental policy, and even in life, you want to balance your water intake with your intake of soda or whatever. You don't want to drink just soda, right? That is some of our tendency to do. Well, Anyway, it's good seeing you, and we are done our textbook. That's pretty incredible. But that doesn't mean we're done the class. So we still have, as I'm recording this video a little bit early, I think we have about a week left. I do have some interesting things for you to do, so stay tuned and don't lose heart. The end of the school year is almost here. Alright, sayonara. I'm signing off. Goodbye.